Welcome, 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 everybody, and welcome to number 45, YMA Matt Chat. Whoop, 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 whoop. And we are live on YouTube, X, Twitter, for those of you that are old, like me, LinkedIn, and 3 Facebook sites. So we are ecstatic about an opportunity to make a difference with you all today. And last week, we did number 2 of time management. And Mr. Yarwood thought, you know what? Let's do organization and take that to the same level that we took time management. Because, man, we hit the nail on the head with time management. So I'm going to have you go ahead and start, Mr. Yarwood.
Yeah, organization is something I think it's not a skill that everybody has, right? I think it's learned, and there might be some people out there who are like professional organizers or whatever, and they got tabs on everything and all this all over the place, right? I don't think you need to get that deep into it, but I think being able to have your stuff where you need access to it and you can get access to it right now and don't waste time looking for it is important, right? Because there's sometimes where I didn't put something back where I always keep it, and I spend like a half hour looking for it, or somebody forgets their phone somewhere and has to go back and find it, right?
He's talking about me today.
So I think one of the biggest things about organization, and there's a lot of things that go with it. I think one of the biggest things though is time, right? We talked last week and last 2 weeks about time management and being able to have a calendar and have, notes and all this stuff of all the things you're doing and keeping track of everything. In order to be able to have good time management, you need to be organized with your stuff. And that's not just your physical stuff. It's with if you have meetings throughout the day, being organized and how you keep track of them, having a single place to go look and say, okay, I have this meeting, have this meeting, have this meeting. If you have a bunch of different places that you put things, or if you write notes on a bunch of different pieces of paper, just kind of slap them all over the place, you end up losing stuff, right? So if you're organized enough where you go to a single place for, your meeting notes, you go to a single place for where all of your your taxes are kept or whatever, having things organized enough that kind of helps you to be able to, okay, I know right where this is, I'm going to get it, come back and get it done, versus crap, where did I put that again? Oh, last time I saw it was over there, but now it's, where you waste time, and time is valuable. So being organized is a huge part of your time management piece, and it's a big part of everything else that you're doing, because I think being organized, at least for me, helps me to stress less, because I know where stuff is, I know where to find it, and I don't have to worry about, oh crap, did I do this, did I do this, did I remember this? Organization really helps with that.
And the thing for me about organization is this. I am all about process. Process, process, process. As a business coach, one of the things that I'm looking to do is have people replace themselves in their business. The best way to do that is to have process. Process, process, action saves time. Process, process, action saves time. And when you're organized, it's very simple to be able to, go ahead and actually do that. And make the steps so easy to repeat, easy to teach, easy to coach. And then when it's time for you to take a vacation or you to take time off, being able to hand somebody something that's organized is stellar. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that, and I give the former owner of Cullens, I give him a hard time every once in a while, because when we bought Cullens, they were like, "Look, we'll get you all set up for it'll take us a couple weeks. We'll get you programmed in. We'll get you to." Well, 3 months later, they're still emptying their noggins, because all of their information, all of their knowledge, all of their stuff was up
Yep.
here. And I'm still discovering stuff. Just the most recent one that infuriated me and my partner Jeff was loading our ice cream trailer onto the back of the truck. I had been pulling it and Jeff pushed it. And when Chad found out, he goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, what do you mean? This is how I get it up there." He says, "Turn the darn thing around and push. It only takes one of you." I turned it around and I could not believe how easy it was to push it up. So for 2 years, Jeff and I had been struggling to get it up. Now, what do I learn about that? It's those minute details. When we have a process, when we're organized and we know that, hey, when you go to this store to find these items, don't ask somebody where they are, because they're going to send you to the other side of the store. And that's what the computer is going to say. Walk down the aisle, go to aisle 13, take a look at the end on the right, and you'll find exactly what you need.
Yep.
Unbelievable the number of times. Now, I go to the local hardware store just down the street, Fratelloni's, and the gal that works the front register, I think she's a savant. Like, she's a little bit goofy, and her knowledge of the store and every product, she can literally describe where it is in the aisle. I'm like, this is like having artificial intelligence up at the front. And she's so bubbly and so happy all the time, right? And that's why I just wonder, there's probably something going on, but it's so attractive because that store in her world is completely organized in her brain.
Yep. Yeah, from my perspective as a martial arts school owner, there's a lot of things that I have to have organized in order for things to operate properly. I look at, let's start at the most obvious place, a class planner, right? I have 8-week cycles, and my instructors have to know what they're going to be doing and when they're going to be doing it. So I have a planner that tells them, okay, we're doing this, 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 and this. By week 1 and 2, this needs to get done. Week 3 and 4, this needs to get done. So they can track where they are and making sure they're getting all that stuff taken care of. And it's anybody can go grab it and look at it if they're an instructor and know exactly what they're looking at and what they need to do. And I tell them all the time, if you're not sure, go check the planner. It's always there. The other thing is for cleaning purposes, I break my school up into 4 areas, and then I have a list of each area, what needs to get taken care of in those areas. And it's a checklist. And then anybody who's, helping clean, they go grab that checklist. Got to do this, got to do this, got to do this, got to do this, got to do this. And then it's taken care of. As opposed to me expecting them to know, because my expectations and reality are going to be 2 different things. Just because I think that they should know because I know doesn't mean that they know. Same thing with my instructors. Just because I know what I want doesn't mean they know what I want. And if I don't write it down for them, if I don't tell them exactly what I want, they're not going to know. And it's my fault, not theirs, right? I can't say, well, you should have asked. Well, how about if I just tell you in the first place and give you an opportunity to see it, then I can't get mad at you because it's all there for you. So having that organization and the way we run class, right? There's a specific way that everything happens. People come in the door, they bow, they put their shoes away, they put their gear away, they bow onto the mat, they line up for class, then they come onto the mats on their dots. Then it's over and over and over again. It's the same thing. It's very organized. It's run efficiently, and everybody after a few classes, they all know what's going on because we do it over and over and over again, and they understand it. I even have it written down for my instructors. Here's how a class physically runs. They do this, they do this, do this. So when I have greeters or something, they can help people to set them up, to show them where to put the shoes, to do whatever it is they need to do, because everybody does it the same way. It's organized, as opposed to people just randomly putting stuff here, randomly doing this, randomly going over here. It's all the same. And when you have it organized, I can have 30 people on the floor at one time, and it's going to be run efficiently because everybody knows what to do, where to go, how to act, what to say, all that stuff. So that way if from the outside looking in, you're like, holy crap, those kids are really super disciplined. Well, yeah, because we taught them to be that way, right? So it being organized really kind of helps things run really well.
Well, and what I think is fun, right? So Mr. Yarwood puts together a sheet every week that we come together, and that sheet talks about and gives the highlight points, right? And he uses AI to support creating the basic draft, and then looks at it, and I look at it. And what I'm looking at today, I want to share. I'm not going to share every word, but I'll share the titles, the 7 titles, and then speak to them. The first one saves time. Well, yeah, if you're organized, you don't have to go hunting for stuff, right? Reduces stress, right? If you know that when you walk in, the light switch is here, the book is here, these are the 5 steps. There's the thing on the wall. This is holy mackerel. You could be half asleep and still produce results. Improves focus and productivity. If you're not having to worry about, oh my gosh, what am I doing next? Uh-oh, what am I doing next? Right? You can focus on the individual people. On what in Taekwondo, you can focus on what the drill is and go, okay, let's work. We're going to work on your stances and how the angle of your feet and where your weight balance is. So I'm going to come up and do this. Perfect opportunity. Those things are great. Boost confidence. When the instructors are organized, what happens is there's an air of confidence that comes along and spooks. It's spooky, right? Because they just know. They know, look, hey, this is what we're doing. Mr. Yarwood had to go take a phone call. Mr. Yarwood had to go do this. We don't just stop practicing and stand around and take a smoke break.
Yep.
Right? So, then that leads to better decision making. I mean, think about that. The organization. When somebody says, well, can you do this? No, I need to stay organized. I'm graduating in 2 months. Well, come on, let's just go waste time. It's that time of the year. Come on, let's go do lunch somewhere. I can't. I'm graduating. And here's my organizational plan. Now, if you want to go on Saturday, right, take a look at I saw on my calendar, I'm open on Saturday at the same time. There's a bit of organization. It doesn't mean you have to stop doing the fun things. It means that you have to think just a little bit. And lastly,
that seems too hard.
Yeah. There's 2 more. 1 helps achieve goals, and 7 enhances professionalism. When you go to some martial arts schools, you can tell when the master has prepared for the class. You really can. Now, I know some masters may go, I've been doing this for 30 years. I can do it in my sleep. Yeah, and that's going to come across like you're in your sleep doing it,
Yep.
right?
And that's how your assistants are going to act too, like you're asleep.
So that's another part of organizing. It enhances that professionalism. So I mean, this is to me a very, very good aspect of what it takes to produce the results consistent with the integrity of time management organization. Boom.
Yep. And I mean, organization is also discipline, right? When you're organized, you are teaching yourself to put things in specific order or a specific place, and you're having the discipline to follow up on that all the time to make sure you come in the door when you get home from work, you throw your keys in a certain place, you put your shoes in a certain place, whatever, and then when you go back to get them again, they're going to be there waiting for you, right? So there's a discipline to that self-discipline of doing all those things that make your life just a little bit easier, because now you're not hunting and searching for everything, or now you're not upset because you can't find something or whatever it is. So, having that discipline to do all those things also creeps into everything else that you're doing. So when you have that organization, it actually is discipline, which is one of our 9 main life skills that we teach at our school. And we teach the kids too. Like, we have a rule, like, say, we just had a kid forget his weapons at our school, right? They forget their weapons. Then when they come back the next time to get them, they have a fee that they have to pay. And usually it's, now I'm putting them in a position to choose what that fee is going to be versus me telling them, right? So I build in some integrity into it too. It's like, okay, you forgot your weapons here. What do you think you owe in order to get them back? Right?
Burpees.
Right. But I let them choose. And then they'll say, okay, I had one kid say 5 push ups. And I say, you really think it's just 5 push ups? And they're like, no. I said, well, then what do you think it is? 10. Okay, 10. Is that, and I don't ask them because I say it's wrong. I ask them because I want them to come up with the answer that they think is good for what they're doing. So now it's teaching them responsibility. It's teaching them discipline. It's teaching them organization, because pay attention to where's your stuff, right? All those things are built into that. And parents see that and they understand, hey, my kid's learning more than just taekwondo. They're learning about taking care of their stuff, about respect, about the discipline, about organization, about time management, about all these things that are all wrapped up into it that the kids don't even realize they're learning. They're having fun doing all the stuff, and they know Mr. Yarwood he's, I don't put up with stuff. You got to figure it out. And they learn, and then they understand that that's my expectation. So they start to learn all those things, and it's awesome to see that when they start to develop. They're like, oh, and their eyes go, oh,
Now I see. Yep.
yep,
It's I'm thinking of when I was a little kid and my dad said, you've got to make your bed, right? And if it's not made properly and your clothes aren't put away, you can't go to school. Well, some kids would go,
yes,
that's awesome. Yeah,
that's easy.
Yeah. Well, in my house, not going to school did not mean that I got to sit in my bedroom and
Yep,
play.
yep,
It meant I was going to be, doing homework and chores the entire day. So going to school was easily always the best option.
oh yes, for sure.
And, so I got in the habit. Now, the funny thing is, you look today and you go on YouTube and you look for SEAL training, and you look for the YouTube that is one of the top YouTubes on YouTube view wise, and it's this admiral that's talking at a commencement speech.
Admiral McCraven.
Okay, there you go. And he's talking about we start by teaching people how to make their bed, and everybody goes, why? And it says, because there's a few things it teaches you, and at the end of the day, no matter how bad the day is, you will always have a nice, clean, tidy bed to crawl into and collapse.
Yep.
And I kid you not, all the bells and whistles in my head from when my dad, and my mom trained me was like,
Yep.
Oh my gosh. My parents, the one negative thing is they never told me that stuff, right? They just said, you'll do it, right? They never explained.
Yeah, we teach that at our school too. First thing you got to do is make your bed.
Yep.
Get up in the morning, make your bed. What's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? Make your bed. Why? Because I said so.
And when you discover it, right, and you come home, I mean, still to this day, I'm 61 years old. I come home, I go to bed, and even for the short amount of hours that I usually sleep, to be able to pull back the covers and get in there, and the sheets are tight, it's comfortable, the blankets are there, all the weight is there, my pillow's perfect. It's like hallelujah.
Yep. So we just had our floors done, and we had to move all of our stuff off the floors so we could get it done, right? And all that stuff had to go somewhere. And our house is organized, but then when that stuff goes somewhere that it's not supposed to be, it goes into another room or something. We had stuff in one of the bathrooms, and we couldn't use the bathroom, right? It kind of messes with you because you're used to doing things a certain way, being able to have the freedom to go into your bathroom, or all this stuff is in the way of where you like to walk, to get from one room to another. And it's very stressful because you're used to a certain way of doing things. And it was our family room, right, where we spend a lot of time. Our couch is there, the TV's there, whatever. And in the evening, we wind down there, and we couldn't because nothing was there, right? So it just messes with your schedule. It messes with your head. There's all kinds of stuff that goes on when you don't have that organization in place. And it's amazing how quickly it happened. Like we move the stuff, and within 10 minutes, we're like, oh crap, we can't go in there. We can't go sit down in there because there's nothing in there. And it just messes with you when you're used to having things a specific way. It's crazy how quickly it would just totally messed up our household.
Yeah, that's kind of wild, isn't it?
Yep. You don't realize how comfortable you are until you're uncomfortable.
I think the next thing is, when it comes to organization, is to be honest with yourself and discover where your integrity is out in the world of organization. And what does it look like? To take it on, really to go to that next level. What does it look like? What's it gonna, and what do you put at stake? I mean, people laugh. I'm known as the integrity coach, and people laugh because they're like, "Well, why?" And I said, I can't even explain it until you're there.
Yeah.
Because when you get there, when this all happens, the paradigm shift is off the charts.
Yep. I just think too, it's fulfilling to organize your stuff, right? Like when I was a kid, one of my favorite things to do, I probably did it like every couple months, was rearrange my room. And going through it and moving stuff around, and suddenly my bed was right where I wanted it, and my dresser was right where I wanted it. All my pictures were right where I wanted them. Right, it was all organized, and I could hang out in there and be comfortable in my room. It felt so good. Right, I was like, man, I love that. And then you go through, like now when you say even like say you're moving somewhere, right? Sure, moving sucks, but that opportunity to go through your stuff again and organize everything and give you a fresh start in a new place, it's fulfilling. You're like, oh man, that feels so good, right? Because it's now everything is clean, it's put where it needs to be, and all those things. It's like some relief, right? It's awesome.
And so, what I heard you just say, for everything, there's a yin and a yang, basically. There's a
Yep,
there's a good part to it and a bad part to it. So
yep,
I think to be responsible for that is a big key. Big,
yep.
big
And
key.
like I said, then that's when the discipline comes in. Now you have it organized. The discipline part is keeping it organized
Yeah.
because you let one little thing go, and then another little thing go, and another little thing go, and pretty soon you're disorganized again. And it doesn't take long. Within a week, your room's a mess again, and you got to start all over.
Yeah. That would be my garage is like that. And it's okay. And and then there's the other piece of this is to give yourself grace. If you're going through something or you're in the middle of something, sometimes these things happen.
Yep,
And the opportunity for growth and development is not to beat yourself up.
yep. Recognize your failure and learn from it and forward.
Yeah. All right. Well, any closing thoughts, Mr. Yarwood?
Well, I thought we'd cover like this last part, the key aspects of it,
Okay.
right? So the first one is planning ahead. And this is kind of like the time management piece that we talked about, is having calendars or a checklist and that kind of stuff, right? That organization, you're using your time, spend a little time of your day to organize your next day. What is it that I need to get done tomorrow, and when does it need to get done? That way, when you get there, like at night, we make coffee for the next morning. So when we wake up in the morning, coffee's ready to go. We don't have to make it. Um, Filling up water bottles and putting them in the fridge. So the next morning, you just grab it and go. The little things, right? Setting your clothes out for the next day. So when you wake up, they're there. You don't have to go looking and searching. It's also a time management thing, right? That's the next part. Managing your time wisely, using it to be able to fill the the opportunities to do other things instead of looking for stuff or spending that extra. Sure, it might only take you 2 minutes to make coffee, but it still made you 2 minutes, right? That maybe you were running late. What if you wake up late? Now the coffee's not made. Now all those things, right? So
The
when you
ripple
have that,
effect.
yeah, when you have the organization, it's already there and done for you. You don't have to worry about it. And then decluttering, that's something that's I think is a big challenge because people get, I think, emotionally attached to their stuff. And then you go to declutter and it's like, well, I might need this someday. I might want this. Oh, this is really cool. I like this. And then you put it away and you don't see it for another 2 years, right? Decluttering and getting all the stuff out of your area that doesn't need to be there and putting it where it needs to go, I think is a big piece, right? And like you
Yeah.
talked about earlier, setting up systems, having a system for everything that you do, right? And it may sound a little, like you said, a little ridiculous, but it's not. When you start implementing those things and it starts working and running efficiently, I think it takes all that stress off because now you have, if something does happen to come up, you have the time and all that extra to be able to cover it and take care of it and not worry about, oh crap, where am I going to fit that in now, right? It's already, you build in a little bit of time into your day, organize it so that if something does come up, guess what? Hey, I got a little bit of time to
There we
take care of
go.
that,
Yep.
right? And then the final thing is reviewing and adjusting, going back over it. Did this work? Well, if it didn't work, figure out what will make it work better. Try something else that's going to work. Maybe you don't like this planner. Another planner does things that work better for you specifically, right? Organize it in such a ways that it makes sense to your brain. It may not make sense to everybody else in the short term, but if you keep doing those things and adjusting and reviewing as you go, it's going to help you in the long run. So I think though it's important to be able to organize your brain so you can put it on paper and organize your life.
The piece that I heard from what you were said was planning ahead.
Yep.
You know, I think about that. By the way, Sister Carnell says she goes, that's me. And then Sarah's online listening. She goes, trying to move has been tough, but spending all this time organizing and decluttering has felt great.
Yep.
Right? That like they are moving to a new home they just built, and
Yep.
that's just it. Right? They are going to get to play with some really cool things.
Figure out how to organize their new home.
Yeah. It's kind of fun. Kind of fun.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's a lot of stress in moving, but there's also a fresh start. There's all these new things that come from it. And you get to move in, and you're overwhelmed by boxes everywhere and furniture covered in stuff and whatever. But eventually, it all gets put where you want it, and you're like,
Yeah. It's a cool deal. Patience is a virtue with everybody, right? Sometimes the emotional thing of moving something has you feel like you've lost control. And I want, the last thing I'd love to leave you all with is we control our emotions. Our emotions don't control us. And when you really, really discover that, like really get it, life changes.
yep, definitely.
Yeah. So, well, Mr. Yarwood, thank you again for episode number 45. Thank you, Sarah and Carnell, for sharing in the chats. Carnell said yes. So just really appreciate, love the comments, and love the support. And yeah, really, really appreciative, and really do thank each and every one of you for the support you give.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, let's see if it all works on the way out as well.
All right. See you guys on the mats.